Imagine yourself at age 65, ready to retire. What emotions are within you upon pondering this? Does this idea incite panic? Or does this thought make you think, or I'm not sure? Or do you think my retirement will be enough along with Social Security and Medicare? Despite your reaction, I invite you to take a little journey with me. Find out how prepared you are and what you can do to prepare yourselves and future generations. I am just a 30-something mom of 3 children, as well as a critical thinking student that wants to ensure her family is well provided for. I enjoy researching and bettering myself and finding ways to be an ideal citizen as well. Retirement, Social Security, and Medicare will affect every single person in America at some point. Even if we are not yet within the retirement age, we will be affected someday. I believe we need to take a proactive role for our own retirement in order to have enough money to sustain our chosen way of life in our retirement years, as well as taking an active role in understanding and ensuring government program availability. I'm going to discuss the following: understanding Social Security and Medicare, assessing our needs, and how to save. First of all, according to Matt Purple and the Society Hangover, or the Social Security Hangover, young people will wake up to intergenerational theft eventually. Social Security has a different intention than most realize. Social Security was initially sold as a property right. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt said the fundamental terms of the program were that contributors had a legal, moral, and political right to collect their pensions. Social Security has evolved to a program that can start as early as ages 62. In fact, the article Social Security to Run Out of Money Sooner Than Estimated asserts the fact. More and more retirees are starting withdrawals at age 62. One issue with the age being the same as the inception of the program is the life expectancy is increasing due to medicinal breakthroughs. Unfortunately, this causes the funds to deplete even faster. This is already an issue. According to the article, Medicare must be reformed, but only to cover costs of additional beneficiaries. Judy Feder and Nicole Farella assert in this article that enrollment from 2011 to 2020 is projected to grow by an average of 3% per year, or 1.5 million more people each year. This drastic increase will affect the amount of funds available in the relatively near future. At this point, Social Security and Medicare are an uncertainty. If it stays the same, it will not be there for the very generations paying into it. Purple says, the baby boomers, all 72 million of them, are starting to retire, and millennials struggling to find a job are expected to fit the bill. When something is too top-heavy, it collapses, much like the game Jenga. We do not really know how Social Security will change. Implications of some deficit reduction proposals for retirement savings by Gabo Peng and Mark Warshawski show some of the main changes in the current Social Security reform. We are all at different places within our lives. Someone that is 55 years old will have different needs than I do. It is imperative to assess our situation to find out how much and where we can save. Think of what you will have for your retirement. The following will give you a bit more insight in this process. Catch Up to Your Dream Retirement by David Aston sheds some light on this quagmire. He says this is overwhelming, even for those in their 20s and early 30s. The good news is you've got time on your side. You may have a low starting salary, but you are likely to advance and gain some more skills, and your income will grow. Economists call this human capital. The key is to begin saving as soon as you can, then increase the amount as your salary grows. The important part of this is to save something. You need to ask yourselves a few questions. Do you have children? Will someone depend on you to pay for their education? Do you want to buy a house? Do you have access to retirement benefits via work? What do you want to do for your retirement? There are many strategies at this level that will help us save. This is a concerning time since debt is mounting in your 30s and early 40s, and you might feel your mortgage is getting away from you. It is also a good idea to see how much you are spending on clothes and such, so tracking that in order to save is a good idea. Focus on paying down your mortgage so it is one less expense to worry about. You'll be well on your way to preparing for your retirement if you start now. Now, in your 40s and 50s, hopefully your mortgage is paid off, and ideally your children are somewhat self-sufficient. If not, do not worry. It is closer to you at this time, but you can still plan. Take inventory of what savings you do have. Ideally, you want to have your house paid off and between $250,000 and $1 million for a couple, or $325,000 to $850,000 for a single person by your ideal retirement age. This will help you decide how much you need to save. Your savings plan will have to be more aggressive. Where do I start? You might be asking yourself, what do I do? Where do I begin? My advice is to start small. Every little bit helps, and try to add a bit more each year. Aston states small reductions in weekly spending can have an enormous impact if you keep up with them. Say you spend $50 each time you eat out and do it twice a week, for a weekly total of $1,000. Eat at home instead and you might save $3,000 a year. If you have more funds available to save, then consider looking at your spending and seeing where you can make a few changes to save more for your retirement. These small changes really will add up. At this age, however, that's generally not enough if you still need to save a lot more. You must be willing to make some changes in how you spend. Also, not spending so much on your car or driving your car until it breaks down, even when there's not a car payment, will help as well. This way you can set aside your car payment as part of your retirement savings. You could move to a smaller house since your children have most likely left home. Another year on the job will help a great deal as well to put more money towards retirement. It will take time, but you can do this. How do I save? This is a matter of preference to some degree. You can save with savings bonds, a typical savings account, CDs, stocks, and such. It is ideal to use a mixture of the aforementioned ways. I suggest you do your homework and some research. There are many viable options one can utilize. Some examples are to check with your employer. Many employers have financial classes that they partially pay for. Find out if your community, whether your city or your country or your county, holds classes for financial planning. The fees are usually nominal. Check with your local library to see if there might be some classes. Peruse the United States Department of Labor website, which has tips, tools, and online classes to further educate yourself. It is important to understand how Medicare and Social Security affects you. We must be sure to save money ourselves to have an adequate nest egg for retirement, as well as finding ways to save more expeditiously. I have discussed with you the basic foundations of Social Security and Medicare, assessing one's retirement needs and how to save. I ask that you educate yourselves by doing your own research. Find classes in your community or online. Several of them are free or inexpensive. Learn more about how Medicare and Social Security affect you in your ideal retirement. Understand your own financial needs. Be willing to research, find financial advisors, and seek out answers, even though they may be difficult to hear. Go over your finances with a fine-tooth comb. Find out where you can save. As the Medicare Social Security debate unfolds, I urge you to contact your national representative. Tell them how you feel. Some representatives are just a click away as you can contact them online. Do not be afraid to learn more about retirement. Find out where you stand, and don't be afraid to take small steps. You will get there, and you will be able to save. We will find out how Medicare and Social Security will affect us, and we will be ready. All right, I just wanted to find out how effective you think this is and what you think that I could do to improve.
Well, I thought it was very effective. It's certainly filled with a lot of information. I know it was a little long, but I actually don't know where, given the size of the subject, where you could cut it to make it shorter.
Right.
Other than that, I actually think that went fairly well.
Are there any ways that you think I could improve on that?
Once again, I don't know. I know that this version that you had is actually cut down from an original version and actually a version before that. So I really don't know where you can make more cuts.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.